Hello and welcome to this special edition from DataQuest. My name is Aanchal Ghatak, Senior Correspondent, and I cover the dynamic world of technology and enterprise IT. So, today we are diving deep into one of the most significant moments of India's data center industry, the complete acquisition of Web Werks by Iron Mountain, a milestone exit for tech entrepreneurs. Nikhil and Nishant Rathi, from a bedroom startup in 1996 to a nationwide digital infrastructure powerhouse, the story of WebWorks is one of vision, resilience, and scale. And with this $320 million journey, the Rathi brothers are now charting a new path with NeoSOFT and NeoNXT. Joining me now are Nikhil and Nishant Rathi, the founders behind this incredible journey. Thank you for joining us, both of you, and congratulations on this remarkable milestone. Let's start
Thanks.
with the big moment.
Thanks, Ajal. Thanks for having us. Thanks.
Congratulations once again on the full stake sale. So, what does this moment mean to both of you personally and professionally?
Yeah, so we've run this company for 29 years. This is just one of our companies, but the first one that we actually founded. So
Mhm.
from a, it's always a moment when you let go of something that you work for 29, 30 years. And you built it up from nothing. The first customer gave us 1,500 bucks or rupees rather, which is $30 by that standard. And from there, we've scaled this thing into multiple companies. Of course, this being the first one. From that came out a 4,000 people software company. We built the first internet exchange in India. That's a separate setup. And this one grew up to be from a hosting company to a web design development to it moved on to a data center. So I think professionally, as a lot of learning. 4 years working with an American setup. Nishant was on the board. I was actively managing the entire setup. So you get to learn a lot from a $37 billion Nasdaq listed entity, which is Fortune 1000. So how they function, what they do, because as entrepreneurs, right, we go to B school. So we learn our stuff at B school, but there are things, the nuances of how large enterprises work and how we should and should not work. Right, that is important. So I mean, what happens is an enterprise works in a very different manner. Something which is 71 years old, they've probably done 200 acquisitions in their entire 70 years history, and how they do integrations, how they do harmonization, how to work with people who are connected but not connected, to your business, and to manage the expectations of the world, which is of course looking at you from Nasdaq listed company. So it was cool because we got quoted by the group CEO of Iron Mountain, William Minnie.
Okay.
Every quarter, I think India was in it. After we partnered, every quarter we were mentioned that India did this, we've got a great partner.
Right.
And I think that was satisfying, right? And those are there on the Iron Mountain earnings call. If anybody ever wants to check out, right, you'd mention, oh, India won this a contract with a large graphics company. That was us, right? India won a
Oh.
contract with XYZ. So, being mentioned in their earnings call on every quarter, that was fun. And also we learned how to, so a lot of learning professionally. Also the board was us with them. Initially we were majority, then they got a majority, we were a significant minority, and then over a period of time we stuck out and sold and then reached 100% exit. So it taught a lot, even from a legal standpoint. It taught a lot also from what, how, if we are starting a similar platform, right, how to think through it. So a lot of learnings right there.
Right. I'll just sum it up. I think it's a dream come true, to be very honest. Obviously, an emotional moment because we've built something. It's like a baby you've raised, and then suddenly you've got to give it to somebody else. But putting that aside, I think an emotional moment and a very proud moment for India, at least, because we've been able to do the full cycle, start from a bedroom and exit to a NYSE Nasdaq listed company. Doesn't happen all the time. Specifically in the data center space, probably one of not many which we can talk about. On the journey so far, I think from Web Werks, starting from that bedroom, making sure that we keep getting customers, keep growing, keep grabbing on the new opportunities which showed up every other year or every other 18 months was, I think, the most fun part. Today we've got this opportunity where we've got capital on our hands from the exit. We've got experience on our hands from running the business, growing it, scaling it, getting it funded from the top people in the world, and also then exiting it. I think that experience we would want to replicate further in all our journeys, not only NeoSOFT but NeoNXT as well. And we keep talking about NeoNXT because that is what we want to keep doing next. You see, even the name, that the way the name's
Yeah.
defined is it allows us to keep doing something new year on year and not just get stuck on a particular name like a WebWorks or the others that we've got. So that's how. So that's the experience which I would put on, which we've gained as a team across, and finally came across some fabulous people in the journey. So, as a part of NeoSOFT and WebWorks, we worked with close to 12,000 individuals. And then if you add their families, we are talking about probably like 30,000-40,000 people lives, which we've touched in the last 29 years, which I feel is an amazing thing to have. That's the family we've created over time.
It's inspiring to see, founders see, I mean, not only build for scale, also committed to India's digital future. So, was there a defining moment when you felt ready for this exit, and how was the partnership with Iron Mountain, which led you to the this deal?
So I'll tell you what, when we started, this was a 1 megawatt platform, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we ran 15 investors in 2019, 2020. 2019, of course, then the COVID hit us in 2020. Then we ran 15 investors. We had Deutsche Bank as a tier one banker help us out in the process of selecting investors. Iron Mountain came in, looked good, right? And we allowed them into the, come into the company, let's enjoy. And yeah, so we took the company from 1 megawatt to 162 megawatts capability and runway, and the same money that the original plan was about 56 megawatts to 60 megawatts. So when giving them almost two times, 2.5 times more than what they'd actually wanted, that kind of runway, we built it, we sold it, everything grew 6x. So that was a good number. 6 is lucky. So we grew it in terms of profit, 6 times profit, 6 times, or rather 6 times EBITDA, 6 times revenue, 6 times, the number of people also increased. So I think all in all, I think we've scaled it pretty well. All in all, I think what also inspired us was that we have to have a moment where we want to also step back and say, okay, it was like Monday to Friday, God worked creating the world. Saturday, he sat down. So it's known as Saturday. And then after enjoying, and he looked at the sun came up, he brought the sun up and he looked at his creation, and that was Sunday. So we decided, now we've sat down, now it's time to have Sunday. So we've scaled the platform well enough. We gave it into good hands. Iron Mountain, we had a great relationship with Iron Mountain. We still have a very good relationship with Iron Mountain. With the top management, with board, everybody at Iron Mountain, right? So we decided, okay, we've run it for 4 years. Now it's time to hand over the keys and let Iron Mountain take it and drive it further and scale it up. And probably then focus on new things like NeoNXT, right? So and next is important. So yeah, it is satisfying finishing this thing off. You've got to have the Sunday, and then you go back to Monday to start working again another world.
Right. So I think Iron Mountain is a great platform from a data center perspective worldwide. And they were in India. They were looking in India when they met us amongst those 15 investors for almost 3 to 5 years, looking for a partner, looking for a way to enter. They loved the WebWorks business. They probably liked us as well. Can't say anything more on that. But they loved us in the fact that we ran it completely debt free without with our own capital. So the platform was set at this was the right timing, I feel, for this platform to consolidate into their overall IMDC platform. They can scale it and grow it. As Nikhil said, he's created that runway for them, to go to the next level and become, one of the top 5 players in the country. They have a decent team, which I think should be able to run from there. From our perspective, I think there's only that much running you can do. There's only that much growing you can do for a particular business. Beyond that, you start feeling, it's just become a Monday to Friday for an entrepreneur. And if you go to any entrepreneur in the world, he wants to do new things. He doesn't want to be in that the same cycle of a Monday to Friday and work like a professional. So that is the call we had. That was a decision we had to take, hard one. But I think we're loving it from here. And like he said, NeoNXT, NeoSOFT, these are another two big platforms which we have today, which we're scaling and growing, and they will grow in all directions, not only India, but so the NeoNXT platform. We want to build data centers across the world, and we also want to build cloud infrastructure and other cloud-related technology solutions in the NeoNXT platform. So, and NeoSOFT is our software company.
Aanchal,
Yeah.
our job, or rather my job there, was to create the base of and the foundation for the pyramid, right? And then
Right.
leave so that they can build up the pyramid and their team. I mean, if I build the pyramid, then it'll be my tomb. So rather they build it up. So my job was to build up the foundation, and then as far as the Indian foundation, they had zero footprint over here as Iron Mountain data centers. They had, of course, they had 300 megawatts or 400 megawatts outside, but nothing in India, and nothing significant in Asia. So with this, I've basically given them a the runway capability. Basically makes India and Asia almost 15-20% of their portfolio, which is sizable. And to do that in 4 years is I think, was a hard job, but I think they've been there, done that, build
Mission accomplished. Absolutely.
Wonderful. I mean, the side of story we don't often hear. Thank you for being so candid. Coming to, like you said, you've raised the company as a baby, there must be some emotional hesitation. So, how did you weigh sentiment against strategy?
Okay, so you see, the company is something you build, and it's like your daughter, right? One day he's got to go away and get married to somebody else, right? So it's typically like that. You can be sentimental about it, but it is the natural progression of life. So in the life of Web Werks, this is natural progression that had to be happening. And this is what we had pre-decided. So it wasn't something that we are not decided. We had pre-decided this when we entered into the joint venture, and we had a conversation with them, because see, remember, Iron Mountain data centers and Iron Mountain itself is so old. They would like to have their own branding eventually. And I think they will do that. I think they've already probably started doing that, that this will become an Iron Mountain data center. So I think you have to respect both sides of the parties, and both parties, right? And ensure that everybody's goal is met. Our goal is met because we had fun building it. It was thrilling running it, and and we got paid for it as well.
Yeah.
So I think it was good.
So I want to add here that we can build it, we can run it, and we can keep running it. The Iron Mountain wanted us to stay back and keep running it, but we want to do new things, and therefore we got to step out. Second thing is the tech services space, or the tech space today with AI and the other new stuff that's out, is very dynamic, and it's been so for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, as long as technology has been in operation. So you'd want to jump out and do something new, use AI, use your old skills, both in terms of business management, business growth, and build something totally new, which starts afresh. And with that in mind, I think this was the right opportunity. Iron Mountain obviously made us happy with all the numbers, and therefore we decided to step down and let them run the show while we go out and do the same thing, build new pyramids.
That's great. And like you've created this from your bedroom to this 6 live data centers. So what were the most challenging and transformative phases in Web Werks group story?
Oh, so there's a lot of. Remember, we started with 3 locations, all small data centers. Of course, we knew about something known as interconnectivity. So we ran a very network dense data center, and I think we and another company, which is the world market leader called Equinix, were the only 2 in the market who ran this. But spreading it across 6 locations. So like I said, 6 was our lucky number. So 6 locations, including Hyderabad, Bangalore, and others, that we actually scaled it. Each location came with its own geo challenges, right? And yeah, navigating that landscape and the terrain. There's a lot of learning because of that. You also learn what you learn at one location, and you can implement that in the others. Like for instance, how to navigate in a place like Hyderabad, or where the rock is solid stone. That is just one challenge, right? And how do you build on top of that? So how do you short cycle that by building as quick as possible? So you have different. So that's just in the building side of things. Then the team we had was only about 40, 50 people that we took inside. And then scaling up the team, getting the right talent, putting that mix in, making sure that even our partner, which was Iron Mountain, is aligned. Because remember, Iron Mountain put in all the money and all the capital. So making sure that they're fully aligned on this, they understand that they had some expertise internationally, making sure we can tap into that expertise, their expertise with hyperscalers, their design expertise, because we hadn't sold to hyperscalers. And when we were building data centers from 1 megawatt to 86 megawatts in size, you have to have that experience. So tapping into that, bringing in new talent, and a lot more, right, that goes in. It's very difficult to define because we also landed up selling a lot of the capacity that we actually built. So, and that is again sales, right? We if you have 1 megawatt, your largest customer will be a couple of 100 kilowatts, right, or maybe 100 kilowatts. With this, you have customers who are 1 megawatt, 2 megawatt, which is 1,000 kilowatts, and 2,000 kilowatt. The whole negotiation, the entire, and of course, large banks. So extremely large banking customers who came in and took entire floors. Whereas earlier we didn't have floors to give them, we would give them some racks, right? So it's like giving them one cupboard. Now they're taking the half the building. So a lot of learning on the tech side, a lot of learning on the management side, a lot of learning on the boardroom management side, and yeah, all that end result is, and also a lot of learning on the legal and the other sides, right? Because you're navigating all these laws across this, you're navigating all the benefits that the states actually give you, using some benefits and compromising, saying, I don't want this benefit. It breaks into time. So taking that, and time is the essence, and time is money, and making sure you've got to learn to balance. I think we did it pretty well.
Right. So I think the WebWorks has been a really great journey, and every couple of years we had something new that came up. So I'll talk about NeoSOFT, which was our web design division. So when we began the company out of the bedroom, we used to get web design opportunities. The first customer who came in with that 1,500 rupees told us to build a website for him and then host it as well. So the hosting business graduated into an infrastructure business, which is the data centers, which is the 6 data centers that we have today. And the web design business graduated into NeoSOFT, which today is a full-fledged digital transformation, product engineering, and AI first AI development company with 4,000 people working for it. And so that journey of transforming, I think, has been one of the most interesting ones, grabbing onto the right opportunities at the right time. Every not 1,000 days, but probably every 600-700 days, you have to look up and cook up a new opportunity. That's been an inspiring journey that's taught us so much more. Like he said, even the WebWorks bit where Iron Mountain entered to the fourth year when we exited, that taught us so many new things, and which as a part of NeoSOFT, which today we own and we run, we've been able to transform the same thing for even customers. We've gone back to them with our journey. We've gone back to them with the new stuff that we do for them in AI today, and be able to offer solutions where customers are delighted with what we have given them. So I think all in all, the journey's been very interesting. The learning and the opportunities which we've grabbed on over a period of time have really made all the difference, and we are what we are because of the opportunities.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, this is the biggest acquisition in Indian data center history. So, what does this say about India standing in the global digital infrastructure race?
Yeah, so I think, of course, globally, we have a lot of catching up to do. But these kind of deals are good because, one, they spur on further new people to come into the market space. In terms of data centers, I'll talk digital infrastructure. I think, see, in data centers itself being one part of the digital infrastructure, America is going to be 1,000 gigawatt, right? India is probably going to be 3. So we have a lot of catch up to do, but we're a small country versus them being a continent. So give and take, I think we're on that journey to get to a bigger, better digital, but our distance is also limited. Our landmass is limited. So 3 gigawatts, I think we're heading towards that. Should attract more people, probably get us to 5 gigawatts in the next by 2030 or 2029, 2028 is what we're looking at. In terms of connectivity, that will also build up. Remember, America is well connected most of the places, but even the rural population, everybody generally has a car to travel, right? Or they have a bus. India, we don't have that luxury. So in terms of digital infrastructure, we're still catching up. We'll probably leapfrog a few things, like we went from edge to straight to 2G to 3G to 4G to 5G. The what do you call, the developing countries generally don't leapfrog. They go 1.2, 0.3 point. So a lot of things to do in India, and I think we've got a young population. So the digital infrastructure is only set to scale. This deal per se should attract a lot more people into digital infrastructure space because a lot of people do focus on, and digital infrastructure is all the underlying things like the water. It just flows on which you basically build your vegetables, you cook your soup, and you make your chapati, right? So that's what digital is. We don't really qualify water as much, but water is key.
Or heat, for that matter.
So the idea is that digital infrastructure is exactly that. You don't really realize it's all around you. It's what runs your WhatsApp on your cell phone. And so the digital infrastructure has your data center, the digital infrastructure has your mobile towers, all of that. So when you look at all of that, I think our deal, should spur on more, right? And should probably get more people into understanding the digital infrastructure space and to contributing more and building up more of these larger set of companies, where otherwise we hear about all the consumer-rated startups because we see more of them. But should help.
So I'll just use one line. No story is complete without India. And I think the deal that we've done is purely a proof or a testament of just that fact. Somebody looking to invest in India and found us, our asset, and then invested in us. We grew the business, and now it belongs to them. So the point is, no story is complete without India. Again, now I'll jump to the NeoSOFT side because we do a lot of work in the product engineering, digital transformation space, and the kind of opportunities we get from worldwide. And it could be from anywhere. It's from the Middle East or from the US or wherever, where we're doing so much work in AI. Without India being there, the AI cannot be completed, cannot be implemented, cannot be sustained. And therefore, India is the factory where all the AI is going to get generated. I think even our dear Prime Minister has also said the same thing, that AI is where India will move out and transform the world, and which is what we're doing across the board. So yes, the deal is a testament of the fact that India is the most important part of anybody's story. And if you're not in India, if you're not using the workforce, the people, the infrastructure in the country, you will only be able to go that distance. And I think the world today recognizes that. So yes, India is on its way to the next level with the AI revolution.
Absolutely. India's digital infrastructure story is only getting started. And now coming to your newborn baby with Web Werks now transitioning under a new brand. So your focus is shifting to NeoSOFT and NeoNXT. So how can we expect for these platforms in the coming years?
Right. So NeoSOFT is as old as Web Werks. Let's put it that way. It was our web design business so many years ago, and 25 or more years ago, we decided to give it its own name and its own home. So NeoSOFT is growing. Like I said, we do a lot of work in the AI space today. So 5 out of 10 customers today that we work for, we are building AI for them. We're topping up their current platforms with AI. We're doing learning as well. So all the latest stuff, again, on the cloud technology platform as well, there's a lot of implementations that we've done, consulting that we've done on that bit. So NeoSOFT is scaling and growing. We have aspirations to do an IPO perhaps in the near future, and that will come on the cards. We're building the company, professionalizing it to the next level where it can run fast and keep growing and scaling as we move up. We also, like Nikhil said, we've learned a lot from Iron Mountain. So we've started our corporate development division in NeoSOFT, where we look at growing the company inorganically and look at interesting entrepreneurs or interesting spaces which we don't have expertise for today, to bringing them on board to the NeoSOFT platform. Now I'll talk about NeoNXT. NeoNXT is the new baby that's born out of the exit and the extra time that we will have now. We want to make it a digital infrastructure platform, starting with offering cloud services, and it's being defined. We've already hired a team as well, which is implementing and starting the first set of digital infrastructure on the cloud platform, on our own cloud platform. As we speak, it's being implemented. So over the next couple of months, you will hear more about what we are going to be offering, how it's going to be very different from what other competition is offering, and how it can add value to customers.
Yeah, so I'll just say that as entrepreneurs, right, we want to wake up in the morning and say we want to do something great today. So the NeoNXT platform is to make sure that we do something great. आज कुछ तूफानी करते. Got it? कुछ तूफानी नहीं किया तो क्या किया? Right? और जिंदगी में you want to make sure that you enjoy. As entrepreneurs, that's what we enjoy, creating things, right? It's not about holding on to things, it's about making sure you create something, and then, like I said, sit down and then look at and marvel at your creation. And then create something more. And just create something more. So NeoNXT will also land up. NeoSOFT, of course, is doing what it's doing. But NeoNXT will also probably will delve into quantum computing, will delve into AI. There is just a new horizon that we have, correct? And with the right kind of talent, which we will fund with capital that we have, right? I think sky's the limit. We'll probably do something with that.
Right. I'll also add, on the NeoNXT side, we are in talks with and are looking for, other smaller or mid-sized entrepreneurs who want to scale and who need a platform, both in terms of capital, in terms of mentoring, to scale and grow. We can help them on the digital infrastructure side. And we know, from our network of so many years, we know a lot of different players who've not been able to scale beyond a particular point. So that is where our mentoring, capital, and capabilities come on board, and our connections also come on board to help them scale. So we would want to look at acquiring a few more smaller platforms and then scaling them up, which I feel creating on top of somebody else's creation, or trying to scale something that's already created but is unable to scale because of one of those reasons, right? Capital being one of the most important ones out of that, and mentoring or direction.
Yeah, so that kind of support could be a game changer for emerging founders. So, is there any particular kind of ventures or founders you've been looking to, back?
Tech space. That's our forte.
Tech,
We
deep
yeah, I
tech
was
or
telling
infra or something like
anything tech, not just digital infrastructure, but anything tech we're happy to look at.
Right. So cloud and AI are particularly what we would specifically focus on for now, because we're building the platform. On the other side, there's other tech services also, innovative tech services, which a lot of entrepreneurs have been offering, and depending on what fits in which segment, the sky is the limit. We have an open book and an open mind on what we can scale, what we can integrate together to make it just bigger. So, for example, we can look at somebody in the payment space, or we can look at somebody in the regulatory technology space, and look at how they can be consolidated together. Payments and regulatory put together can create a very different platform. So we're looking at different permutation combinations, but looking at backing up some very interesting founders and very interesting companies to scale and grow.
Any specific investment outlook for NeoSOFT and NeoNXT? Have you figured out like how much ballpark figure on how much capital you plan to deploy in the next 2-3 years?
I think we want to keep that number with ourselves, because we have funds, and as we progress, we'll take a call depending on the situation, right, and depending on the opportunity that it presents. Because putting a ballpark number and then riding on the number, I think is a journey destined for failure, because then you're eager to just deploy capital. No, you want to get the best opportunities and the best thing. Of course, we have our own capital. and we have backing from a lot of similar-minded families and others who back us up as well after knowing the kind of success we've actually made. So the capital is not only limited to just us; it's limited also that good experience in debt raise and good experience in all of that in terms of how to leverage and grow the business. So we bring all of that apart from just the capital that comes in. But again, opportunities present. We look at opportunity individually and we'll decide how we want to take it forward.
Yeah. And from the NeoSOFT platform, it's a running company with digital transformation, product engineering being the focus. So there are a lot of SME companies which we've looked at, which have expertise which we don't carry today. So we could look at consolidating them. From a number perspective on the NeoSOFT side, we're looking at deploying anywhere from 250 to 300 crores over the next year and a half to 2 years to do acquisitions of these targets.
That's only our equity checks.
And that's only NeoSOFT.
That is
NeoNXT is different. Yeah.
Understood. And any customers you would like to name for NeoSOFT or NeoNXT you kindly working with, or any partners?
So NeoSOFT, we've been working. So 65% of our business comes from banking financial services, BFSI. So you
BFSI.
name the bank, in the US, in the Middle East, or even for that matter in India, they would be a running customer at this point in time, and we'd be doing something very serious and meaningful in their equation. While we don't run the core banking, obviously, because that's run by the larger set of companies, but we do everything around the core banking, which supports functions and business lines for them. So BFSI 65%, then comes logistics, media, telecom, and so on.
Manufacturing?
Manufacturing, we've started doing manufacturing related work in the Middle East, in India, and in Europe and South Africa, and that's growing. It's a small segment, maybe single digit as far as we're concerned today.
And looking ahead, how do you plan to continue to contributing to India's tech story, and what excites you the most about the road ahead?
Yeah, so NeoNXT platforms is exciting us. New stuff excites us. Doing something different excites us. And anyway, NeoNXT is into tech, so that should probably make a very, very good mark in India. I mean, we're made by India. We made in India. We've made made for India, right? So I think with that, NeoNXT is what should be definitely contributing to the India story. We brought in foreign capital into India in sizable amounts. We've ourselves exited, so that's more foreign capital coming in. So I think, I think we've done well for ourselves, and that's because of India, and hopefully we'll contribute back into the Indian ecosystem.
Yeah, so about 10% of our workforce in NeoSOFT each year, 10 to 12% of our workforce in NeoSOFT each year are freshmen from college. So we want to look at bringing in freshmen, train them, polish their skills, and allow them to work on global projects, which gives a step up. I feel that is something that is a give back. So like I said, over 12,000 people and 30,000 families have worked with us in the past 29 years. We want to carry on doing that. People is the most important skill, talent, asset that we have today. I want to keep nurturing that talent. We have people who worked with us for decades and decades and transformed from being the lowest person in the rank to probably going C-1 level as well. So we want to carry on doing that. From a digital India standpoint, I think that is the story we want to run. We want to look at what we can do with AI and what can we build around AI or with AI or for AI, and all of the above. So when I say for AI, the cloud technologies, your AI is deployed on cloud. Your AI is deployed in a data center, and that is how it runs. Your data is stored in a data center. Your data is stored using an application. So everything around AI is what we would focus on, because that's what the world is going towards. That's going to be the biggest game changer in everything that we do today. Perhaps this kind of an interview will also happen on an AI platform, which will go on asking intuitive questions and then automatically edit the videos and give us a result, which today will probably take a few days to accomplish. So we want to carry on focusing on that, carry on getting and hiring the best talent, carry on doing work for customers, meaningful work for customers, and helping them scale and grow their businesses.
Wonderful. That's, energizing to hear your optimism. Thank you for contributing to stay invested in India's future. And I'm done with my questions. Is there something else you'd like to add to this?
No, I think
No, I think that's about it. I think we should specifically talk about, the WebWorks data center experience that we've gained, and what we then want to do in NeoNXT with it, and plus the NeoSOFT side of the story where we talk about digital transformation and AI and products. So I think let's focus on that AI piece, which then connects the dots between NeoSOFT and NeoNXT and allows us and gets the audience to understand, that this is what we're doing next, essentially. Right?
Right.
If you can stop the recording, then there's one more comment I want to make. Sure, I'll just
I just need to make a closing statement. So,
Yeah, go
Nikhil
ahead.
and Nishant, thank you once again for taking us through this incredible journey from building a data center business brick to achieving one of the largest exits in the industry. Your story is not just about scale, it's about vision, resilience, and long-term belief in India's tech potential. Thank you so much for being with DataQuest. Thank you.
Thanks, Achal. Thanks for having us.
thanks.